Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about chemical exfoliants. We will talk about AHAs, BHAs, how they actually work on the skin, where to start if you are a beginner, and how you can use chemical exfoliants to treat acne, pigmentation and rough and bumpy skin. Let's start with talking about what actually are chemical exfoliants and how they differ from physical exfoliants. I'm sure all of you have heard about scrubs, which are basically physical exfoliants. So they have small particles that have a bit of sort of scrubbing action, exfoliating action, abrasive action on the skin, and that's how they're meant to give you like a smoother skin surface. But physical exfoliants are also not very good for your skin because they've got large particles which can cause micro tears in your skin. So if you are using physical scrubs, I would ask you to stop immediately unless you're using a gommage, which a lot of Korean beauty products have. Chemical exfoliants are absolutely safe to use. Just make sure as a beginner you're starting out with a lower percentage. What chemical exfoliants do is they help in ungluing the dead skin cells that are clinging to your skin. So by shedding off that dead skin buildup, your skin will immediately look radiant. Your products will absorb better into your skin and it will kind of push your skin to create new skin cells. What they also do is they help in unclogging and clearing out your pores. Pores are an essential part of our skin. We have pores all over our body. Everywhere where you have skin, you have pores, and pores can look enlarged when they are clogged. Also, a clogged pore is kind of like the birthplace for acne, for whiteheads, for blackheads. So if you want to keep your skin clear, using a chemical exfoliant like a BHA is very important because that's the only thing which is a small enough molecule that can penetrate your pore, dislodge all the impurities that are clogging it, and thus clean the inside of your pore. AHAs are alpha hydroxy acid and BHA stands for beta hydroxy acid. Among AHAs, you have a couple of them that you must have heard of, like lactic acid, glycolic acid, mandelic acid, and among BHAs, the most common one that is used in skincare is salicylic acid. And among BHAs, salicylic acid is the one that is most commonly used. For this video, I've partnered with Limes Connect, which is a curated platform for K-beauty brands in India. They are the pioneers for K-beauty in India, I would say, because not only do they have some of the cult favorite brands, but they also have a lot of boutique brands which they are bringing to India. So I'm very happy to have partnered with them because I'm going to be talking a lot about the products I'm using right now, primarily from COSRX and Klairs, and you can find all of these on Limes. Now the big question is, as a beginner, how do you choose the right product for yourself? Do you choose an AHA? Do you go with a BHA? Do you choose something that has both? What kind of percentage do you go for? What's the frequency of use? So let's talk about these topics now. If you've got active acne, I would suggest go with a BHA. So any kind of acne related issues or skin that has bumps under the surface, I would recommend going with a BHA, which is salicylic acid. For those who've got dry skin or who have skin that's dull, that doesn't really have a nice radiance, I would recommend going with an AHA because it helps in getting rid of that dead skin layer that's giving you that dull appearance. Plus it's mildly moisturizing and it softens the look of lines and wrinkles. Let's talk about percentage. Percentage denotes the concentration of the AHA or the BHA in the formula. The one thing that I would absolutely not recommend is if you are a beginner, that is you've never used chemical exfoliants on your skin, do not start with a very high percentage, okay? If you go suddenly from nothing to a 20% AHA, 25% AHA, and these products are available in the market as peels, you're going to do a lot of damage to your skin. Your skin is not used to these active ingredients, and you're going to do a lot of harm. I get really worried when I get DMs and queries asking me how to use the 30% minimalist AHA peel and products like that, and I have to tell them, if you've never used a chemical exfoliant, do not directly go for that. Just like when you're working out, you progressively increase the intensity of your workout. Similarly, for your skin, you need to start with a lower percentage. A higher percentage doesn't always mean that it's going to give you better results. When using a high percentage, you run the risk of damaging your barrier. The barrier is basically composed of, think of it like bricks in a wall. So when you have holes in your barrier, basically it's not going to keep water intact into your skin. You're going to lose water really easily because your barrier is compromised. So people who've got dehydrated skin that loses moisture very easily usually have a compromised barrier. I myself have got a compromised barrier because I overdid high percentage peels and things, thinking it's just going to give me better, clearer, more radiant skin, but it has inflicted damage on my skin. So now I'm sticking to lower percentage of actives and working to rebuild my barrier, and I think my skin is really thanking me for it. If you're starting with an AHA, I would suggest go with like a 5% to 7% AHA when you're starting out. For a BHA, you usually get a 2% BHA in most formulations. About frequency of use. Now, when you're just starting to use a chemical exfoliant, use it once or twice at night time and slowly build it up as your skin gets used to it. So when you use it for the first couple of times, you might experience a bit of tingling, and that is normal. It should not be burning. It should just be a mild tingle. And after a few weeks, you can start using it 2 to 3 times a week, and you can keep it to that. Or if you feel like your skin can take it, you can build it up to almost using it every night. I usually use 4 to 5 times in a week at night, and that has been working really well for me. Apart from just the percentage of active ingredient, the formulation is also very important, and this means what other ingredients are there to support and balance out the BHA. So if I look at the ingredients for the COSRX BHA that I'm using currently, it's got the BHA obviously. It also has niacinamide, which also works as an anti-acne ingredient and helps in repairing your skin. This also has sodium hyaluronate, which we know converts to hyaluronic acid on the skin, attracts water, and it also has panthenol, which is like a soothing ingredient for the skin. So it's not just a matter of having the BHA, there's also a balance with other anti-acne, antimicrobial, as well as soothing and moisturizing ingredients. Another advantage of BHA is that when your pores are clean, which is what BHA does, they appear smaller. There's nothing that you can do to make your pores disappear. They're kind of like an essential part of your skin, but if your pores are clean, they appear much smaller. Another question that I get very often is, how do chemical exfoliants fit into your skincare routine? So what other actives can you use with it? Is it okay to use vitamin C and say a BHA together? So let's talk about how you can layer products and what actives are okay to use with chemical exfoliants. So when I am using chemical exfoliants, which for me is always nighttime because they can make your skin a bit more sensitive to the sun, so it's better to use it at nighttime. I usually use my exfoliants right after cleansing before I go into using any kind of serum, moisturizer, essence, etc. So it comes right after your cleansing, after your face is absolutely clean from your cleanse. In my routine currently, the only other active I'm using is vitamin C, and vitamin C I use in the mornings. I'm again using something which is a low concentration, and that has been working just really well for me. Higher concentration vitamin C was giving me a kind of tingling and discomfort on my skin, and ever since I switched to a lower percentage one, I'm currently using the one by Klairs. My skin feels a lot more calm, but I am seeing the brightening effect that we expect from a vitamin C product. So I use my vitamin C in the morning because vitamin C has a bit of photo protection, and combining vitamin C with your sunscreen is a really good idea because that gives you much superior protection from the sun. I would not recommend using your chemical exfoliants and vitamin C in the same routine because they both operate at different pH levels, so neither of them may work properly, and furthermore you might make your skin a bit more sensitized. So it's better to have a vitamin C in the morning and your AHAs and BHAs in the night. If you are using a retinol, again, don't use it in the same routine. Retinol is supposed to be used in the night, so you can alternate the nights. Just don't use any retinoid with AHAs and BHAs in the same routine. For ingredients like hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, you don't have to worry about them. These are not active ingredients, so they can be combined with AHAs and BHAs in the same routine. I'm going to now show you a sample routine both for the morning and the evening. So I've cleansed my skin. I do have a bit of mascara left, but I think that's fine because my skin is clear and ready for whatever I'm going to put here next. So in the daytime, like I said, I'm using vitamin C in a low concentration, and I don't use my AHA BHA in the morning because it doesn't go well with the vitamin C. What I do is right after cleansing, I use the Klairs Fundamental Ampule Mist. I'm a big fan of the brand Klairs in general. I remember the first product I tried from them was back in 2018, and it was the Midnight Calming Blue Cream. Recently, I've been using their Fundamental range. I'd say it's been about 2 months that I've been using these products. The Fundamental range is a bit more sensitive skin friendly. They've removed fragrance, they've made the formula 100% vegan, and they're using recyclable packaging as well. So I'm going to use the Ampule Mist, and this is quite nice, especially for like the summer and the monsoon. As you can see, it's given like a nice dewy finish to my skin. I love the formulation. It's a green tea water based mist. It also has extracts of rice and cucumber, and I find this combination just very calming and soothing for my skin. So now that my skin is a little bit moist, I'm going to go in with my vitamin C. I'm using the freshly juiced vitamin drop, and this is about a 5% vitamin C, so it's not super high. I usually take about 4 or 5 drops, so it's not like a super high concentration, but I find that a lower concentration is working better for me. It also has cica extract, another one of my favorite ingredients at the moment because it helps in calming the skin and soothing the skin. Whatever is left, I'm also just going to gently dab it. This has a nice consistency. I would say it's like a very thick water. That's what it feels like, kind of like a gel base. It does leave a very mildly kind of tacky finish, but I quite like that because that means that when you put on your next layer, which for me is either directly a sunscreen or an intermediate kind of moisturizing product, it adheres to the skin really well because of this slight tackiness. If I am feeling a bit dry on any particular day, I would use the Watery oil drop, which is a very interesting product. This is a product I find just so intriguing because it feels like an oil, but it actually is a serum and it doesn't have any oils in it. what I love is it's got ceramides and peptides, and these are great for rebuilding your skin barrier as well as helping repair your skin. Once you kind of rub it, it starts to feel a little more watery, but it does have that kind of texture that gets you a bit wondering, is it like a serum, is it an oil? It is a serum basically with the feel of an oil. So with this, I think my skin feels pretty good now. And now I would go over this with a sunscreen. So that's my sample morning routine, and now I'm going to show you an evening routine where I will incorporate my AHAs and BHAs. What's important to note here is that I've used products that are soothing and repairing along with being hydrating. So even if your skin is getting a bit sensitized to the chemical exfoliants, you are using products that are going to just help rebuild that barrier and calm and soothe the skin. Okay, so let's do the evening routine now. So I would typically do a double cleanse. I would use an oil-based cleanser first, followed by a gently foaming one. So that's going to remove everything from my skin. Next, I'm going to put on some eye cream because this is going to protect my under eyes from any of the chemical exfoliants that might stray too close to the eye. Even though we are working with pretty low concentrations, I just think for me, my eyes have become quite sensitive since my LASIK surgery, so I want to be just a little extra cautious. So this is the eye butter from, again, the fundamental range from Klairs. This also has such an interesting texture because when you first take it out of the tube, you'll see it kind of feels quite like a nice rich cream, and because it's called a butter, you kind of expect it to be quite thick and emollient. But as you sort of start massaging it into the skin, it kind of becomes almost a little watery, so it feels just so lightweight. And I do use it in the day as well. I forgot to add it to my morning routine. I find it particularly good for blending out any kind of long wear concealers, and I can already feel it kind of sinking into the skin. Now we are going to move on to our exfoliant. So I want to show you the texture of both the AHA and the BHA I'd spoken about. So I'm going to use one half of my face for the BHA and the other for the AHA. I'm going to use the BHA in here because you can see I've got some acne scars that are about fading, and I find that this helps. So I'm going to take a bit of cotton. I'm going to pump out just enough so that the center part of the cotton is nicely drenched, and then just going to use it and very gently kind of wipe my skin with it. You can focus it on areas where you tend to get breakouts or bumpy skin. So for me, it's definitely my jawline, and my nose gets clogged too. And lastly, I'm going to take it to my hairline. What I love is every time I use these, I don't know if you can tell, I feel like I've got really clean skin with the double cleansing, but the BHA always takes out, like it finds a bit more dirt that may be sitting a bit deeper in your pores. So I've done my BHA on this side, and I don't know if you can tell just by looking, my skin feels really supple. It doesn't dry out my skin, which I'm really happy with because a lot of BHAs in the market will make your skin quite dry afterwards. And then on the other side, I'm going to use the AHA 7 Whitehead Power Liquid, and this is a 7% glycolic acid. So same thing, just going to pump it out. Then just do the same thing, just gently wipe my skin with this, focusing on the nose where one is prone to whiteheads. and this has also pulled out a little bit of extra dirt. I'm going to add a bit of the Ampule mist again. I'm going to give it just a few seconds to sink into my skin. Sometimes you can just lightly tap you can also just lightly tap your skin if you're in a hurry and you don't want to wait too long for the mist to absorb. And as the last step for my evening skincare, I'm going to use a comforting ceramide based moisturizer. Looks like such a simple tube, but it packs quite a punch. Looks like butter again. It's not runny or anything, but as you sort of use the warmth of your hands, it gets a bit lighter and less buttery. I love this cream because my skin looks just so healthy when I wake up in the morning. Also, a lot of the redness in my skin has absolutely subsided. Like all of this area where you just see the fading marks now was quite red looking, and I also had like a lot of redness around my nose, but since I've started using this, it has been a couple of weeks, I think 3, maybe 4 weeks. My skin just feels a lot healthier, and like I said, ceramides will help you rebuild your barrier so you won't have as much of the transepidermal water loss. Basically, your skin is going to stay hydrated and plump for a longer time. So that is the evening routine and how you can incorporate AHAs and BHAs in your routine. I hope showing this kind of step-by-step AM and PM just made it a bit more easy for you to understand, because I know skincare can be quite confusing. It has taken me ages to kind of understand my skin better, and I hope with this video it's made it a little bit easier for you. So that was all I wanted to share with you about AHAs and BHAs, and I hope this video was helpful for you and you can now decide what product to go for. All the products I have mentioned in this video are available on Limes Connect, and I'm going to put the link as well as a discount coupon for you in the description box. And lastly, if there's anything that I missed out in this video or anything that you're still confused about, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment and I will reply to your query as soon as I can. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe for more such videos, and I'll see you soon in my next one. Bye.